There's lessons to be learned from everything, every experience in your life, every experience, you know, every person can be a teacher. But all the great bodybuilders behind the scenes were incredible thinkers. They have to be. When you look at that body, that body is the manifestation of a lot of work. Many hours and hours and hours of thought. You know, focused concentration towards that end. You know what I mean? Even the bodybuilder that identifies himself as a bodybuilder, that probably doesn't identify himself, at least to himself quietly, as being a very deep thinking person. The reality is, in order to do this thing well, chances are you would have to be a very thoughtful and insightful person. You know, whether or not you give yourself credit and acknowledge that or not is up to you. You know, but just because you don't acknowledge it, or it's harder for you to see it that way, doesn't mean that it isn't true. You know? The road to making the muscles that you want responsible for any movement that you do is by putting your mind there. You decide in your mind what you want to do. I am going to work my chest. I am doing these dips for the purposes of stimulating this kind of activity and therefore growth to occur in this area of my body. It's important to be clear about that, because now that allows you to consciously and unconsciously set things up internally that will allow you to begin to make those muscles work more than any other muscle group that can work when doing exercise. From time to time, you'll have people that'll see you working in the gym too, and they may think, you know, what's that? That looks different. That guy doesn't know what he's doing. Until you become pro, and then it's like, hey, well, what was that you were doing? Without a certain kind of desperation, and it's true, you know, people can argue, whatever, okay, whatever, but, you know, a real athlete knows what time it is, you know, when the cameras are off and the lights are off and, you know, they're alone by themselves, you know. There's a certain kind of desperation that needs to be in order to be one with your passion as you need to be in order to overcome obstacles or barriers that would otherwise, you know, stop you.